All right, well, it's time to get video 2 started. Where I left you the last time was getting the dash all out of the cab. Everything's cleaned up in there. I got some mounts on the bottom from the seats that I gotta sort of rip out of there. Next up on the burner is we have actually sold the Dirt King kit. We sold the inner fenders, so we're going downhill on there. We have these shock towers in there, and slowly I have to cut these out and try to retain the stock frame as well as possible. I have to actually trim all of these frame plates out. It's a miserable process. I've already done the other side, so maybe I'll show you how that one went, but I'm also gonna show the process of doing this. What's up, buddy? And I guess he's gonna be helping me out the whole time. So let's get started on that. So last night while I was working on taking all the frame plating off, I actually ended up getting the cab cage delivered. So I'm gonna do a little walk around that. So here we have the TE Designs 14 to 18 double cab Silverado or Sierra cab cage. Comes with everything, is all cut and bent already. Just need to go through, we need to prep all the ends and get them ready for actual welding. But having so much of the cab cage done for you is such a huge time saver. So along with that, here we have the frame plating. So kind of slowly chopping it and peeling it off, trying not to, make sure that I'm not actually digging into the frame rail itself. So still got a little ways to go, so we're gonna continue on with that. And then hopefully pretty soon here we'll start cutting holes in the cab. Now, slowly but surely, another plate comes off, and let's get back to it. So next we're gonna start getting these little guys, and then I gotta cut these little guys off and slowly grind that out until it is completely flat. All right, FRKOO, front race kit is officially off. So cleaned up all the frame plates, got those out of there, got the shock towers off. That was a massive pain. Took hours to get to this point, and I couldn't tell you how many angle grinder blades I went through, but got it cleaned up, it's prepped, it's ready for the next kit to go on. It's gonna be great we actually have motor mounts that are gonna get replaced. Maybe pulling the headers out, I'm actually replacing the headers with a different brand, so that's kind of exciting. But yeah, for right now, it's gonna be super easy to get to all that stuff. And next up on the to-do list is we're gonna actually be chopping the back frame rails off, and we're gonna only be going up to this rear cross member here. I'm leaving that on to kind of keep the frame rails from warping back and forth, kind of just in preparation for putting the cab cage in. So we're gonna be basically doing this to get more real estate for working back here, because we're gonna need to cut holes back here and in the center to get tubes through this back firewall. And getting that space to work is just gonna be huge for now. And then afterwards, we can get to tying in this whole rear section here. So let's get started on that. All right, well, the back of the truck is officially off. I guess there's no turning around now. Next up, we're gonna start getting into the cab here. We're gonna start chopping all these seat mounts out of here. That guy right there, get everything all cleaned up. And then also start getting these roof panels out. This is gonna be getting cut across right there. There's actually gonna be a tube that sits inside of there, and that'll actually mount up to these C-pillars here. And also we have that little area to clean up. And then back here, we're gonna be cutting the holes. Those will be for the down tubes from the C-pillar there. One thing that's kind of up for debate is this area right here. There is a junction that'll meet up right there. I've seen some guys go, they'll pull that pillar up from here and hit dead center right there and kind of triangulate it that way. It's not a race truck, but I do like the looks of that. The other option is leaving that totally open, maybe doing another down tube here to the center and doing a third brake light right there. So if you guys want to go in the comments and let me know what you guys would rather see, I'm still kind of torn on what I'm going to do. So let's get to working in here. Up here, after getting these spot welds all grinded out, that all it is this foam that's keeping it on. So pulled out the handy dandy steak knife and we're gonna slowly cut this out of here. So all right, Well, we got this portion above the windshield here all cut off. Next, we gotta go over it with a flap disc and clean it up. And then after that, we're actually gonna get to these little tabs here along these A and B pillar, and actually almost all the way back to the C pillar there. We're gonna cut those off one by one and make sure we've got a bit for actually drilling out the spot welds, and then some of them it looks like we're actually gonna be able to cut them out of the way. We've seen some guys actually go and they'll actually cut this entire area off right here. Don't want to do that as of yet. It looks like to me that we're going to be able to fit inside of there, judging by where the holes are supposed to be drilled in the back of the C-pillar there. So we're going to kind of play it by ear on that. But right now, I'd rather find out that I didn't cut enough than find out I cut too much. So let's get to that. Sides all cleaned up. Next, we're gonna get this back section right here all cleared out, go and cut all the way around. That'll take that huge piece out of there, and then we got to clean up around here and get the holes drilled for the tubing to go out the back of the cab. Another thing I picked up is I got this Milwaukee hood light right here. It goes and it clamps from one side all the way to the other and turns on like that. So super pumped on that. Can't wait to try it out. So let's go. Well, we got the back of the cab all cleaned up now. I'm actually going to be taking the tube that goes across this top area right here and measuring out where I need these holes to be drilled to go out the back of the cab. And then next up, I'm actually going to be heading down here and I'm going to be drilling out this area right here for the A-pillar to go up and over this whole section right here. And it's actually going to land out the back of the cab there. All right. So what I actually ended up doing is I clamped this down on the table here, measured it out 47 3/4 across, and then adding the width of our hole saw to find dead center of where we actually need to be drilling the bit through. It's going to be 50 inches on the dot with a 2 1/4 hole saw. So 50 inches measured dead center back here at the cab. Took my paint pen right there. Fortunately this and this hole are 12 inches apart. And that made it easy to find dead center. So I'm going to be going 25 inches out that way, drilling a hole, and 25 inches out that way and drilling a hole. Let's go. So to make the truck look even more like I got into a bad car accident, sorry neighborhood, but we got the front windshield removed and we also got this rear windshield removed. Paid a guy $100, did front and rear. I was able to retain the rear window, but the front windshield, not so much. I already had a crack in it, just told him, take it along with you and I'll get a brand new one at the end. All right, so I think that's gonna just about wrap up episode 2 here for Project Defiance. Obviously in this one, we've got the complete race kit torn off. It's prepped, ready for the next one to go on. We've got the entire cab cleared out, cleaned up. It's ready for tubes to start landing. And we've got the back half of the truck completely cut off. And yeah, there's no turning around at this point. So With that being said, from here on out, I do plan on these being a little bit more organized, where say the next one, it's installing the cab cage, or the next one, it's doing the back half, the next one's doing an engine cage, etc., etc. So kind of planning on doing this little wrap up at the end and show sort of what my plan is. And it's crazy the amount of work that it's taken to get to this point. I would say for every 1 hour of work into the truck, I'm maybe getting a minute of footage, which is crazy. But yeah, if anybody's got any questions, I'm also kind of planning on maybe adding in like a, hey, I'll answer those questions in the end of the next video. So if you guys want, like, comment, subscribe. I know that sounds super lame, but it does help out the channel kind of move forward. And yeah, catch you on the next one.